support the disabled people. That's what I'm working on. I wrote a proposal to the American Embassy and I told them I wanted to support the disabled people, and I've had a partnership with them through the president, Ibrahim Adibasi. He's a board member of my school as well. I have two disabled in Farafeni and two here that I sponsored myself for them to do the course, just to show them that they're part of us. What I wanted to do is to start here, tailoring IT and catering, inshallah, in September by God's willing. I wanted to start that with the students in Farafeni so that they can have all the skills. But next year, inshallah, come to Farafeni, we'll have very good massage parlors, very good beauticians, going around doing people's hair, doing fit, massage, pedicure, manicure, facial, which have never happened there. So these are the challenges I want. So I've been to America to sign an MOU. This school, I met them through a lady called Ladoza Wright. She lives in Cleveland in Ohio. I was mandated to write a letter to support a law, HB 243 of the cosmetology law in Cincinnati, Ohio, for them to have license, for breeders to be licensed. And when I wrote that law, I was just thinking I was just writing a letter to support what they were doing, not knowing that they wanted me to write a letter to support a law. And when I did it, that law was passed in Ohio. The law is now with the senator whom I met when I went. So after that, when they were doing that, when they were passing my letter through, one of them saw it and said, I wanted to know this lady. And then she said, okay, I can introduce you to her. Then I got that link with the owner of the university, which is Moore University of Hair Design in Cincinnati, Ohio. So they wrote to me, they said they're doing they've planned a course, online digital cosmetology course, first time in the world, not in the Gambia or America, and we'll be the first to do it. Right. So he said, okay, I thought that I'm an African American, that's what the owner of the school said. And if I'm doing this, I wanted to take it to Africa. Taking it to Africa, I see a dynamic lady that does something that makes a law in America. I think that I wanted to work with her. This is what she said to me. I said, okay, that's great. I would love to do the same. Then he wrote to the American embassy and tell them. So the embassy, I went there and they gave me the visa and they encouraged me to go. They supported me to go too. They said if you go, when you're coming back, we wanted to see you, to see the MOU, make sure you sign the MOU because this is so important and it will be very good. It will take the cosmetology of skills training to another level. And I went and it was a success story. I had press interviews with different newspapers and it was published and I have some copies of that. I've got TV interviews, I've got the CDs. I've got 4 radio interviews in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I went to Columbus and I was a guest speaker at the State Board of Cosmetology of Ohio. So I presented a speech there. I've got proofs of that to give you. From that I meet different schools. They give me so many stuff for the school here. They give us videos of classes. And then I went back to Cincinnati to come back home and I had a final TV interview. When I come back, the American Embassy invited me. I went there with 2 of my board members. We talked to them and they were really pleased. They said they will support the course and they're always in touch with the university to make sure this doesn't fail, it works the perfect way, which I'm so glad that they can do. I asked them for support and they said they will do that definitely, but it's around the end of the year, but they will try and do that. And so we wrote to the VP, we wrote to the Vice President to show her the MOU, and we wrote to the Minister of Youth and Sports, and the course will start in September, inshallah, when we open here in the Gambia, in Genjoro here, Grocery and Farafene. We're going to start the online digital cosmetology course. Everything is set just for students to get their passwords and go online. And there we go. After doing the course, they have the first access exams in the Gambia. The second final exams, if they can afford it, we'll support them to go to Ohio to do the exams at the State Board of Cosmetology, which was approved by their State Board in America.
As we slide into the last segment of the breakfast show, usually is do it yourself. Means?
Do it yourself, defal ko sa bopa, and
That
we
is what
always
I want you to say, defal ko sa bopa.
defal ko sa bopa, because we always lay emphasis on DIY, do it yourself. You know, sometimes we tend to buy things at the market, but you can really make things on your own and you with less expenditure. Because for instance, birthday card, do you know, can be made from just an A4 paper, and an A4 paper I believe is costing nothing more than $1. I don't know the actual.
50 buttons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see, birthday cards, you can do it on your own. If today, if you want to go to the mini market to buy a birthday card, it will cost nothing less than $25. But this is something you can do with on your own. Very simple. Get your birthday card, get few colors, color pencils, and you know, do some little graphics.
And you know, somebody told me, say, look, you know what, the breakfast, so you are pushing the gypsums out of business because you're now training people how to make simple and cheap, very nice cards.
Well, that is what we want to do with the breakfast show, is showing people what you can do and do it on your own. It's very much easy. And if we are pushing the customers, well, sorry to them, but we have to tell it to our viewers how to do things on their own.
Now let's take a look.
Hello, good morning. It's DIY time. Defal ko sa bopa. Get something that you have at home that you think you might not use again, or better still, get something that is very cheap and then make something creative, something beautiful, and something that looks very expensive with it. Today on the show, I'm going to show you tips on how to make a formal card. And what I mean by that, not something that's too official, but sometimes you just want to make a card or buy a card that doesn't look too pink, or get a card that doesn't look too, you know, over the top. So what we're going to do today is, I've got a black card, and then we're going to see how best we can put white ribbons on them and then make it as nice and not too loud as possible. As usual on the show, what I say is that it is always important to consider the color of the card that you're going to use when you're making birthday cards or wedding cards or cards for condolences or whatever the occasion is. Because most of the time, I wouldn't advise anyone to use a black card to do a birthday card or a wedding card. This being that the color black might not really go well with the occasion. So always have at the back of your mind the occasion in which you're making a card for, and then put the colors into consideration. For the purpose of this demonstration, you'll need a couple of stationery materials, and the first thing is you'll need a pencil. You'll need paper glue. It's better to use paper glue because it's not too sticky, but when you use other kinds of glue, what happens is that you'll need to spend a little time, wait for it to get dry, and then it might get a bit messy because you have it sticking all over the place. So I'll advise you to use paper glue. Apart from that, you'll need a stapling machine. It can be a small one or a big one. If you don't have a stapling machine, you can use anything that can actually help you to attach the ribbon to a card. You'll need a plain sheet of paper, locally called Katie Taba. You can get it from the Bitkinar or somewhere around the convenience store. And you'll need a ruler, you'll need a rubber. Because when you do your sketching on the card and then you've made a little bit of mistake, you'll need this to clean the mistakes, because you don't want it to show at the end of your demonstration. Apart from that, you'll need a little silver stone. Depending on the color of the card and the color of the ribbon, you might want to get a gold one, a purple one, and red one. It really depends on you. As I said, based on the color of card that you'll be using. For the purpose of a decoration, we'll need a ribbon. Now, this is something that is normally used to decorate wedding cards and for other purposes, but I'll be using this to make a card. It comes in different colors. You can get it from the gift shop all around the country. And you'll also need a pair of scissors in case you want to cut one thing or the other. So let's get started. First of all, what you're going to do, if you have a black Vanguard paper that is not folded, make sure you measure it in size and then fold it in the middle. This one is already folded, so we wouldn't have to go through the process of folding it. If you want a smaller card and you feel this card is too big, what you can do is cut it in half and then refold it. Depending on the size, you know what you want. Get an A4 size paper, fold it in the middle. To get a neat fold, make sure the edges are all equal. Put it down, take a ruler, and then press the edge. Now, after this, what we're going to do is we're going to attach the A4 size paper to the black one in the middle.